Okay, so like I definitely remember the during about technology, like basically probably because like the person which head of like the department of like research and development of like whole society is precisely that head of all that is precisely Mayuri. It's really because of that like I'm because of thing Mayuri definitely would get and especially because of like Mayuri even not or even being like a remotely surprised with of shock at like the realization of like the whole of like reasons like I think of like the news about like reasons still being alive and the villain that first message that was certainly sent through also of like the charity precisely by like one of like and like considering like it would all have collectively sold and solely have to do with like specifically Mayuri being like a secret having like a secret alliance to like Asian and Mayuri even in like the past like it's definitely I'm still thinking about concentration that like even in like the past when Asian was like desperately experimenting with like the polos and trying to create something that could like you know for Asian to like bypass the limitation of like the core fighting limitations of like the core fighting research so that like Asian could have like the power of not just like the shoulders but also the power of like the while Jason had revealed that he had been doing all those experiments with like all sorts of follows and like like all these experiments might have been precisely done for Jason through precisely Mayuri's help. That's definitely my personal reference. That's why it will be like the Jason reason for like Mayuri not all being surprised with shock and like the realization of like through this the news of that basically like of Asian being alive and Asian being a villain. Definitely my personal reference. So like suddenly like while Ken is like explaining and basically while Ken currently I'm personally not delivering Ken as well as like all the remaining squad captains in like except for Mayuri. My dot only and fully believe and trust her like Mayuri's like gods as like the head Mayuri's report as like the head of like the research and development team of like the head of like the research and development team like so the idea that basically the whole show will take exactly a lot of time it will take a lot of time for like Ethan to be able to like properly structure and for Ethan to be able to like utilize it when in actuality that would be precisely things would be precisely even after like even and even like things will be precisely still going according to like Ethan as well as like Mayuri like secret plan to precisely give that false feeling to like that to like Rosai and like the remaining stock captains that would take a lot of time for like Ethan to be able to like select the power of the whole. So when in actuality my person the emerges that even though it will take time for like Ethan to be able to like push the whole issue, it won't be taking that so much like of like an extreme great duration of time or anything. It's definitely my person to emerge. So like I'm preferring even right now in like the present Ethan would have not been able to Asian would even to the present like Asian would have definitely not focused like the power of the home Asian would be currently in like the present would be like doing like constantly be working on like the preparations to like eventually focus the whole issue. And I'm just liberating definitely for it to take some time but like not as much as like the time that basically that Mayuri would have like falsely convinced like Enterprise and like all the remaining content that it would take like such extreme great duration of time before like Asian would uh, be able to like process the whole to be precisely and consciously like pre-planned by precisely and Mayuri so that like so that like the society won't be like won't so that like the in that society would be like approaching like the Asian situation in more of a relaxed manner so that like that would be totally buying Asian more than enough time for Asian to by the time like anyone from like the from Sarah either Kendra or like like stock happens like even if like say when decides eventually decide to like head off to like emphasize world of follow to like precise list of agents even then like by the time they would be making it there like agents would be getting like more than enough time to precisely process like the power of like the whole issue which would be like the first plan of secret plan of like agent and Mayuri, which should be what precisely Mayuri currently in the person will be executing exactly in our member state. So like the specific to the person to the person that like definitely in practice like the word of follow will be precisely Urahara like strategy like Urahara coordinates for Ichigo and all of them to like precisely for Urahara to like basically Urahara can be so carefully prioritizing his own ultimate goal and that to basically bring like the whole issue back from uh, from the world of Solos back to like the human world. So it would be solely with this intent that Urahara might have stealthily, and like the mentions that like ever since like precisely when like Ethan had taken like the Tokyo from Arabia and Ethan had left to like the world of Solo. Like at that very day itself, like I'm considering Yoroki might have precisely Yoroki might have really had like Urahara might have precisely given created and given Yoroki some sort of like a soul phone like device through which like Yoroki might have been like all throughout like the Yoroki's progress ever since like showing up along with the children through into like the so society like Yorochi might have been like constantly keeping Kurahara updated, even from like the soul society to like the human world. Like using that soul phone, like they might be able to like communicate from like the soul society and like the human world. So exactly my was remember. So like I was bringing Yorochi might have like especially when Ethan had stolen like the whole issue and left for like the world of all like Yorochi might have possibly that day itself like contacted Kurahara and updated Orahara about like the current situation. So like from that point itself, like, Orahara might have totally totally made like strategical plans to like basically might have started to think and might have started to like create like strategical plans to like potentially get Ichigo and so next month they would be like returning back to like the back to like the human world to probably get to create a need and a reason, proper reason for to get like Ichigo and through to like head off to like the world of Follow next so precisely that way, that eventually creates a situation for Ichigo and to like fight Aizen and defeat Aizen and bring like the whole issue from Aizen back to like the human world. This definitely my question to very much. Like I'm considering even like Donkin is and specifically my question to very much that like even Donkin energy like basically open visiting like Ichigo's like friends and everything basically and Ichigo's siblings and all that. Like I'm considering him like Donkin energy like the really repeatedly trying to create a bond between like Ichigo's siblings and all that. I'm considering it would only have to do with like Rahara precisely studying Ichigo and Ichigo's like siblings because like Rahara might have already been like the very first time like Rahara might have even seen Ichigo like those different thing and realized like this like screen protection like within like Ichigo like at that point like Rahara might have seen Ichigo as this ultimate from class and those different thing like since then I'm different like so like that even like into the impression that like even while Orahara like the past escape from like the South society like the human but like even back then like Orahara even manipulated like just guy so that it would like slowly turn into like so that like Rukia would slowly turn to a fully a human. Would be even though that was like that might have definitely been like Orahara's attempt to like that way trap Rukia eventually once like Rukia would be like Orahara might have definitely expected like eventually Rukia attempting like in like the future like attempting some sort of like a follow mission in like the human world and at that point with like Rukia guys turning more and more into like a human basically Rukia won't be able to like head back to like the soul society and that way like Rukia was like the positive trapped in like the being trapped in the human world. This might be something that like Urahara might have totally expected for like the future of Rukia, but still like even in such a scenario, like Urahara might have definitely also even thought even beyond that because like Urahara might have totally thought like even while doing that, like basically Urahara might have thought of it the possibility of like or still like as even if such a scenario even happens, like precisely like squad captains or like lieutenants from like outside society like showing up would definitely be showing up to like the human world to like get Rukia back to like the society even if they didn't know about like the Tokyo for them looking at Rukia. So like to totally prevent that and totally and like Professor Rahara might have totally thought that even if like Rukia had turned fully human, like still like lieutenants or like squad captains might there might be that would be like definitely eventually showing up to like the human world and fighting Rukia and basically they will like even if Rukia is like a fully human, like they might actually even take Rukia's life and maybe like that way turn Rukia into like a spirit and basically then also Rukia so that like that way to like forcefully bring Rukia back to like the soul society. That maybe it's to punish Rukia there in like the soul society. Maybe this might have also been like a possibility that basically Urahara might have already thought so far ahead towards. It's also definitely my personal theory. So like I'm also even if and even if such a scenario even happens, I'm also like even if Rukia turns fully human, and even if then if like Rukia dies, like I'm also like the Hokage would still might remain within Rukia. unless like the precise process that precisely patients had done to precisely take the Hogyu from Rukia, to steal the Hogyu from Rukia, like unless that process like that to unique kind of process is performed on Rukia, like I'm also trying like the Hogyu will totally still remain in Rukia even if Rukia, right? It's definitely my working so like it's such a scenario even happens like the Hogyu will be once again along with the Rukia will be once again returning back to like the Soul Society. So, and I'm also supporting like at that point, like even if like Rupiah's like Soul Reaper Rupiah would be like for like Rupiah's like strictly fraud to like the Soul Society and execute it, then at that point like maybe like the Hogiku might like but like then at that point like Rupiah would be absolutely no more. Rupiah's existence would be no more. So that like maybe at that point like the Hogiku would be like the only thing that might remain at that point, and everyone would be like everyone in like the Soul Society will be fighting out of the Hogiku in such a manner. It's also most of that time also. So this might not be something that Urahara might have only feared. So like more than just like turning Rukia Gigai into like a human and basically trapping Rukia in like the human world, Urahara might have wanted like to ensure that he finds someone from like the human world with like such extreme exceptional potential to like uh, and create like, a need for that some and Urahara plan might have been to like create to find such a person with like such exceptionally high potential and to for Urahara to like make some sort of like an offer or like which like that would definitely never refuse so that like that character would always like that character is extremely rare and high potential high exceptionally high spiritual energy like Urahara would be able to like successfully train that character and get that character to be as strong as like the maximum potential of that character so that like that cat could always ensure like the protection of Origin, like the whole especially the Hogiku for Origin basically, so that like the Origin, so that like the Hogiku would always remain in like the human world, so that like and none of like the villains characters neither in like the Soul Society, in like the Soul Society won't be able to get their hands on like the Hogiku. So this might have been especially Urahara's plan. This entire line was also actually my so that was different like when it might have been out of like pure and pure coincidence, while both Urahara as well as like Yorichi might have been desperately looking for someone in like the human world with like exceptional potential. And I was wondering, um, maybe like Yorichi might have like stealthily even because like even Yorichi is like initial introduction is basically even since like it's like basically Yorichi showing up to like the human world as a cat. Like I'm wondering maybe like Yorichi while Urahara might have been searching for like a fighter with like exceptional potential in like to precisely protect Rukia and like Hogiku like in like the human world while Urahara was doing that like according to like Urahara and Yorichi's plan like Yorichi might have been like precisely in like the Soul Society but like not in Charity but like Yorichi might have been precisely something in like the Rupon district in like the Soul Society for like any exceptionally potential any character with like exceptionally high potential who could like eventually play the use they could use to like play the role of like being like this eternal guardian and protector of like the whole queue and of yeah. It's definitely my personal favorite. So like I'm just like Urahara and eventually like the scenario might have turned out is like Urahara eventually ending up being like the first person to potentially find that first character with like exceptionally high potential and points like solely out of like absolute pure and pure coincidence like that character being like especially Ichigo who already had like such a good great bond of friendship towards like Rukia even though it wasn't like even though it wasn't made it evident like I'm preparing Urahara the very first time Urahara even saw Ichigo and like the chemistry between like Ichigo and Rukia itself like it might have been part to evidence for Urahara that like it might be, Urahara might have only felt that it might have been like just coincidence or it might have been even fate that basically, the perfect cast of that Urahara at that point, like, so as like the perfect, cast of like that absolute, superior hidden potential within that cast, lying within that cast, who also would like totally and absolutely genuinely out of like that absolute also coincidentally having like that absolute extremely good and strong bond of friendship with like yeah that like this character would definitely would go to like would be like would be like without even hesitance like would be willing to like risk his life to like protect us yeah like that might have been evident most likely maybe like even evident for Ohara the very first time for Ahara even so It was definitely my personal favorite. So since then, I'm also trying like what Urahara might have done, might have been like Urahara might have also decided since like Urahara might have been totally surprised with like that extremely high spiritual energy and high potential that like basically lying within Ichigo totally unlocked, even though Ichigo had absolutely no idea, and neither Rukia might have had no idea. Like about Urahara might have definitely been able to see all that like extremely high potential and spiritual energy lying locked within like Ichigo. So those different things that Urahara might have seen is was like the perfect candidate, and then Urahara might have only decided, might have only thought, on realizing that Ichigo had like siblings, like basically Urahara might have only thought of like basically Ichigo's like siblings as well, possibly sharing this like exceptionally high potential as well. With it as well. So like to study more about like Ichigo's siblings, like basically might be the reason for like Urahara maybe even Urahara might have especially even before that might have especially notes because like Don Kanoji was like a celebrity even back then and was recording Urahara even through the television or like Urahara. But it's like even back then Urahara might have been searching for someone with like high potential like Urahara might eventually found Don Kennedy as well as like my person the represent that like once like Orihime was like was just now like trapped in like the world of solos like that precisely three characters, one of them being like Don Kennedy and like the other two characters who is precisely characters that Orahara might have precisely found of characters having like more than normal like a bit high spiritual energy which like Urahara might only like realize would be like that Urahara could turn totally turn as his, like into his like perfect ally, especially members of the religion. So like initially like the only not allies but like henchmen, especially members of the family. So like initially like the only subordinate or like the henchmen of Urahara might have been only Don Kennedy, especially members of the religion. And what how Urahara might have only got like Don Kennedy to like work for Urahara might have been precisely through Urahara secretly wasn't even secretly training Don Kennedy and wasn't even unlocking like a bit of like the potential spiritual energy and potential dying within like Don Kennedy so that like it would be like a trade-off for like Don Kennedy working as a spy for Urahara should be a trade-off because like since like Don Kennedy was like such a celebrity and like such a celebrity that works with like all these spirits and everything like definitely like Urahara might have totally convinced like Don Kennedy that like having a bit of spiritual energy would be like totally useful for your like whole hype for maintaining your hype as like a celebrity. Uh, so like that way, like Urahara might have totally gotten like especially Don Kennedy like totally worked for Urahara and I'm considering like Urahara might have also and I'm considering maybe it might have been after like specifically I'm considering maybe it might have been after like Yorisi like reporting to like Urahara about like the Prodigy being stolen by Aizen and Aizen being in like the world of Horus. Maybe it might be since like finding out about that basically straight away like Urahara might have thought of like finding more henchmen like might have specifically found these two henchmen like that basically that girl who loves a lot like basically and like that other character which is just character might have been like the two henchmen next two henchmen of Urahara that Urahara might have quickly found out before like precisely as soon as like Urahara might have heard the report of like agent stealing the Sogi and heading up to like the world of all of this definitely might have been so like since then like Urahara might have been precisely planning to precisely create a need for Ichigo to like bring the Sogi back from agent from like the world of all. So I'm bring precisely because of this reason like Urahara might have separately found these two henchmen and basically Urahara might have created like this like plan and strategy with like Don Kennedy as well as those two henchmen of Urahara to precisely eventually like create a situation where like Orihime would be like eventually once like two and through would be like returning back from like so society to like the human world to precisely for them to like for like three henchmen of like Urahara to like precisely create a situation where like Orihime will be getting precisely trapped in like the world of Hollis. So definitely members in Korean culture. So like that would be exactly what's happening right now. It's also definitely my person to interaction. So like my person to interaction right now is that like definitely since I'm protecting Mayuri should definitely be like a secret ally of Asian. And currently Mayuri would be only tricking like gamers as well as to like happens into like feeling and giving them like a bit of relaxed feeling as well like they have a lot of time until So to properly take that time, casually take that time and properly create like the ultimate strategy to like eventually like for Gentle and like the stock and like eventually infiltrate into like the world of all and for them to like eventually find Ethan and find and defeat and stop Ethan and bring back like the whole issue from Ethan. My voluntary impressions were like to like give them that false or like feeling that they have a lot of time to basically stop Ace and those different thing like like this would be like most likely the scenario that I'm those for the prepping for like the current situations. So certainly because of this reason and on like the other side like especially like since like the situation for Ichigo to basically like Ichigo currently itself like having like ultimate like being abducted and trapped into like the world of hollows and so they're totally bring this time like I'm totally bring to be probably Ichigo and just like through that will be like and I'm also bring there would definitely be precisely Renji as well as like Rukia. Renji would be totally phoning Rukia and like will be telling Rukia about like the of about the situation of like Orihime being trapped in like the world of horror and Rukia straight away feeling that absolute guilt that basically the source of Rukia would be totally feeling as like the soul might have totally spiraled into such a manner, maybe due to like Rukia, maybe due to like Orihime, maybe due to like Rukia because only because of like Rukia being abducted into like the soul society that like Orihime even has the need to like even show up to like the soul society and that might have been like a factor in like eventually resulting in like currently Orihime even being trapped into like the world of horror. So would be along such lines like Rukia would be thinking and so like there will be like in that absolute guilt being formed within Rukia. So also like the scenario that I'm also looking that like Rukia would be like adamant about like wanting to like help Ichigo. Rukia would only seeing this as like a Rukia's chance like to like help Ichigo and through out and pay back like her gratitude towards like Ichigo and through and everything. So like at that point, I was different Renji as well as Rukia totally joining this time. So like Ichigo and through they would be like setting off to like the world of follows and definitely I was different like with like him being trapped in like the world of follows like Ichigo and through totally like worriedly approaching Urahara as if to like see like there on way to like head off to like the world of follows to open that gate leading to like the world of follows like so that like they would be able to like go up to like the world of follows and this will be exactly what Urahara wants like after like Urahara after like playing out this like entire strategy Urahara would be like currently patiently waiting at his like shop to precisely for like he's going through like so up seeking Urahara self so that like Urahara could get like it went through to like the world of follows so like I'm also like Urahara only helping Ichiban throughout and then making it to like the world of follows and they are about preparing like them not at all being able to like straight away find work in it. I'm also preparing like definitely of him of likely getting captured and by some follow and I'm also preparing that eventually I'm also preparing like as like it went through like frantically searching for of eventually like I'm also preparing the scenario would be like in order for them to like totally rescue or him like I'm also preparing like they would have to like or like while like they would be like processing on their stuff to like find out email like usually them are running into like probably Ichimaru or like Thousand and like that whole and Ichigo possibly having a fight against like Thousand or Ichimaru and eventually that's like the scenario that I was for them to like eventually the situation being like such a scenario that eventually not for them to like be able to like rescue or any of them having to like fight up against like tomorrow and talking like the scenario that I'm considering. So and so like my question to them is that like this time when like Ichigo and Kuro will be heading off to like this time they will be heading off to like the world of Polos and basically this time like it will be just feel like a Renji as well as Rukia alone that will be like uh, joining with like Ichigo and Kuro and the different time like there will be precisely like so basically, when Ichiban probably taking the help of Urahara, that they are those different according to like Urahara, when like those different Urahara even telling like Ichigo that basically it's like an extremely dangerous place, like that basically like you would definitely won't be able to like save or all by yourself. So like those different like Urahara totally saying along this line that Urahara telling Ichiban so that basically myself as well as like your Richard will be like joining your team and basically you bring or him back like that way like falsely like in a fake manner, like basically Urahara playing like the role of the like savior. And I'm also playing like that way, like Urahara as well as like Yoriki most likely definitely joining that which goes through and they them all collectively heading off to like the world of follows. It's like the scenario that I'm going to again. By the time they would be making it there like straight away they won't be like seeing Orihime there at all. Like Orihime would have definitely been casted and brought to precisely maybe like the location peak within like the world of follows where like Jason Ichimaru and Thousand would be it's definitely my person to understand. And I'm also like precisely Ichimaru as well as Thousand deciding not to like take or him as like precisely because like they would be totally expecting like because like Ichimaru would be totally specifically because of Ichimaru's like scenario that I'm looking for. Jason would be like somewhere deep within like the world of follows like totally focused on his like preparation of like the Hokage, trying to like fully complete like the preparation of like the Hokage and possess like the Hokage. While Ichimaru as well as like Thousand like would be like the ones who like even realize the more like they realize about like or him being trapped in like the world follows which like the scenario that I'm considering. So like I'm considering it might be because of like the hollows like that might even catch up or him deciding like no they would be like only like seeing like Ichimaru Thousand currently seeing like Ichimaru person and as that absolute leader. So current absolute leader. So like I'm considering maybe like then even like the hollows who would badly want to like uh, want to like devour like the soul of like Muslim is still about preparing them deciding to like totally like approach Ichimaru and like bring Orihime to like Ichimaru and like since like they will be using Ichimaru as their leader to like to see what like Ichimaru has to say and all that. So it's like the scenario that I mean, so like at that point Ichimaru was saying Orihime like Ichimaru would get only the feeling would be like getting excited because like Ichimaru was only expecting things like Orihime has shown up to for him has been trapped in like the world of Apollo. Certainly, Timaru is only expecting like this time, like the Ryoka, like it's going through the definitely showing up to like the showing up to like the world of Apollo. So like to fulfill the rescue or him and Ichimaru is also expecting like precisely because of like that whole strategy, the stealth strategy with like Mayuri, like precisely Ichimaru will be totally absolutely confident that like none of like the squad captains or like the lieutenants of squad captains or Genter side from like South Society won't be showing up to like the world of Polo to get back the home to anytime soon because like they will be falsely tricked by Mayuri, seeing that which they have a lot of time. So like at that point, Ichimaru totally feeling all confident thinking that basically so it would be just like the Ryokas alone, like Ichiban Pro alone that would be showing up to like save for him. So like showing up to like the world of follows and so like Ichimaru would be totally feeling all confident and Ichimaru would be totally feeling as if like getting revenge on all of them and taking all of their lives. Like maybe Ichimaru thinking along this lines is also like the scenario, possible scenario that I'm referring to. Ichimaru starting not to take for him as like and Ichimaru totally keeping like Orihime trapped there in like the world of Konoha and like I'm referring to safety for Urahara, especially definitely protecting Urahara was most likely both Urahara as well as Yorichi carrying off with them to improve like the world of Konoha. So like I'm referring to safely and even Yorichi as well I'm referring like the only Yorichi as well would have absolutely no realization as to like Urahara's like ultimate villainous plan that basically Urahara was like the first person that had consciously trapped or him into like the world of horror. So like one thing like Yorichi, even Yorichi who was like so close to like Urahara won't be aware of this like secret villainous six plan of Urahara. Like definitely it's also like my positive element. So like Urahara would be precisely showing going along with like Ichigo through to like the world of horror. So, like precisely control like Sivan through like to precisely keeping on tricking Sivan through and keeping them moving through like deep within towards like the world of follows that so that like eventually like it go that way for the Rahara to like eventually get Sivan through to like the first occasion where like Ethan will be present and so that like that way it should create a situation for like it go to have a fight and for it to go to like 50 days. Um, and that way so that like Urahara would be able to like get back like suppose like precisely Urahara will be like doing such tricky stuff into like in even like the world of all like the scenario that I'm going to bring. So like I'm going to bring eventually like I'm going to bring it's going to go like from the deep into like the world of all and eventually then running into Ichimaru. And this time I'm going to bring like Ichimaru would be like the ultimate villain. And so I'm going to bring after heading off to like the world of all of like by that point like Ichimaru would have gained a lot of like power. Like as a Ichimaru most likely having gained a lot of strength and superior strength in like the world of Hollow somehow. And I'm also preparing Ichimaru by the time Ichigo control making it to Ichimaru would be in like the world of Hollow like Ichimaru would be a whole lot stronger and there I'm also preparing like an Ichigo versus like possibly like Ichigo versus Ichimaru fight. Like so like at that point I'm also preparing like the fight will be like between like Ichigo and Fruit versus like Ichimaru as well as Toshi and like a whole army of like Hollow like maybe like Nenos and in like the world of Apollo. So like I'm referring like in that fight, like I'm referring even though Shimaru will be initially totally overconfident, I'm referring as that fight probably like Shimaru having like serious trouble against like Ichigo, and like Ichigo would be like struggling way to like fighting, gaining all sorts of power of state and getting more and more stronger. And so Shimaru would be having this trouble. And on the other side, I'm considering Tottenham as well as like a bunch of borders would be like what like usually like all the Corona percentage will be fighting off against like even York as well as Orihara as well as like Chad and Ishida and all of them. Like by then I'm was referring Ishida for even getting back somehow getting back his like power the 50 powers as well. It's also like the scenario that and I'm was referring most likely like since like Orihime is like the uh, and I'm referring to like Orihime is like this time like the affected person. I'm referring to the scenario like I'm referring someone like maybe Simar or someone like about to take Orihime's life, and it will be at that last second that Ishida would be like, maybe Ishida even like definitely study Brown will be having that genuine bond of like an extreme affection towards like or him that basically even also maybe for Ishida even risking his life like basically by even deciding to like even show up to like the go along with the Jivan through to like the word of all of even while Ishida would be well Ishida as well as Jivan all of them will be well and fully aware that Ishida doesn't have any powers at all, any 20 power or any powers at all. Like still, it should have totally risking his life and still going around like instead of going through around into like the world of all of this like scenario that I go through. So like I'm wondering eventually once like it's going to be fighting off against like Simaro like in such a during that whole fight scenario I'm also at some point like either Apollo or like either Simaro someone like basically about being about to take or his life is like the scenario that I was referring. So like at that last second it would be probably what would have like should to be able like in order for that things like that absolute need would desperate need would arise within like you should have to be able to want to be able to like save or like I'm considering at that very last second like somehow it should like that means creating like just a miracle kind of like situation where like you should have would be once again getting back his like 20 powers and using that like and it will be way stronger than ever when Should I was getting back his 50 power and especially using that those powers that Should I would be getting this like a major spotlight like it should have successfully saving and rescuing of him is like the scenario that I'm different still I'm different there would be like but still even then like I'm referring like the fight to be like the team of like even through to be way outnumbered by the team of like tomorrow person as well as the great number of follows, like also the follows, including like the Oscar and it's like the scenario that I'm also putting. So like I'm also putting each one through totally getting into trouble and to be at that very last second that I'm just totally putting like precisely buys and like precisely like would be when like precisely like the squad captains from South Society would be even making it to that precise location. Within like the world of all of it, like the scenario that I'm going. So like at that point, like it's going to find it feeling really with the text and getting their backup, like basically is going to slowly being so relieved with like all the genders, possibly genders and all this stuff that are showing up. So like at that point, I'm considered on departing, and that will be precisely during then. That will be when like the Komamara will be seeing like Totem for like the would be like seeing Totem again after like Totem having left Komamara back in like the South Society and escaping to like the world of politics. Definitely my opinion. So like there I'm departing like a Komamara versus like the Totem fight. In which I'm going to bring possibly like a Komamaram, basically maybe even dying by the hands of Totem, like also like a scenario, possible scenario that I'm going to think. And even though Komamara will be like dying by Totem, I'm going to bring by then I'm going to bring like an absolute bond of friendship even being formed by between like Komamara as well as like Kenpachi as well as like the scenario that I'm going to bring. So like in that as that fight will be servicing like there and like the world of follows like I'm going to bring talking of likely taking from Amara's life and like definitely that can budget only and absolutely being enraged and can budget only getting revenge for like thousands like villainous act by slightly then a fight between like Kenpachi versus Thousand in which like Kenpachi will be only avenging like from Amara's self by hands of Thousand. So like Kenpachi only was pouring and defeating and taking the life of Thousand right then. It's like the scenario that happens with only second. And right then I'm remembering by then like Ichigo as well would have totally defeated Ishimaru. So like at that point like all of them would be totally saying that basically like Ichigo I'm remembering like would have totally started to like Orpa and Ishimaru would have started to struggle against like Ichigo. It's like the scenario that I'm remembering. So like by then I'm totally remembering slightly when considering like the time would be up and Ethan would have fully possessed like the power of like the whole video at that point. And at that point, Ethan would be so exceptionally awkward that like extremely awkward. And straight away like Ethan would be like at that very moment I'm considering Ethan showing up to that scene of the battlefield in like the world of Fallout, while possessing like the extreme superior power of the whole video as well as like Ethan showing up with like an entire huge army of like either the Minos Tirante or like hollows that are even far superior stronger than Ferrante hollows, type of hollows that maybe might have only been known of like through history, like they really type of extremely superior or hollows than like neither Ichigo nor like the stock might have never even seen it before. It's like maybe like a unique type of hollows that only maybe even Genro would be like the only person who would be even aware of. So like Ethan, Hogekill power processing Ethan showing up along with like a huge army of like such exceptionally or like followers. Like the scenario that I'm about to bring, and at that point, like even with like the squad captain and Genro as well, like the team of Ichigo and through like being like still only not only or outnumbered, but like still even in terms of point as well being like totally or for like the scenario that I'm about to bring. So like at that point, I'm about to bring Ichigo and through totally deciding to like basically like I'm also bring for like most likely like general side realizing that like the change of situation the instant unmatched situation in which like they are in and basically either general side or like Orahara like, taking like the decision and telling them that they really like we don't stand a chance against like Asian and with like power and his like army in like the current situation. So like basically let's just focus on creating like along this line like scenario that I'm going to bring and write them about to bring Ichigo and crew with like the rescues or him like them or like fully retreating back to like the human world. While like the squad captains as well, I'm about to bring along with like Ichigo and crew like basically successfully making the retreat and back to like the human world. It's like temporarily back to like the human world along with like the human world, like the scenario that I was covering. But like I'm also bringing in order to make this like a retreat possible for all of them, not for all of them to be successfully able to retreat and also bring like either Kurahara or like Yoriti like staying that having being forced to like stay back is like the scenario that I was covering. And I'm also all everything like definitely either Urakara. I'm definitely even though like even currently like both Yoriki as well as like Urakara basically even think that basically they would be dying disturbing that would be then even think that we could precisely because of like their realize both of their realization that like the whole video is currently in like the world of all so like actually eventually they would have to like and once like eventually it's going through in their attempt to like get back the whole video from like the world of Fallout, like definitely at that point, like once it's going through, we'll be heading off to like the world of Fallout, like they would definitely be having to like accompany it going through because like the world of Fallout would be like filled with like such extremely awkward opponents for like them to fight off against. Like so, getting back the whole video from like the world of Fallout would be such an extremely difficult task, and compared to the Soul Society that basically once Ichigo and Kuro eventually would be like heading off to like the world of Hollow. Like at that point, basically they would as well like both Yoriki as well as Urahara would be having to go along with like Ichigo and Kuro would be one thing that both of them would be aware of. And at that point, like the possibility of like them dying by the hands of a Hollow by having like their souls devoured by a Hollow would be like extremely high. Would be what definitely currently both purity as well as like for around this totally thing and hence why they will be like only expecting a disturbing that for the towards that is like the scenario that I'm considering. But still about the bring eventually once like at that point according to my personal impression like at that point once like he went through along with like the squad captains Indian I would be like successfully making the retreat from like the world of all of like at that point, I'm considering spend either Yoriki or like Orahara staying behind so that like they could escape. And basically, in that attempt, I'm considering only putting one of like the top henchmen follows of like most likely I'm putting one of like the top henchmen follows of like Ethan like most likely uh taking the life of either Orahara or Yoriki. It's like the scenario that I'm considering. And that emphasized strong follow like basically devouring like one of their souls like either Orahara or Yoriki that by devouring the soul, like basically that soul, like I'm devouring like that they follow, even being like even more exceptionally awkward and small because of like your as well as Ohara having like exceptionally high spiritual energy, like devouring the soul is be like turning that follow even more exceptionally strong. It's like the scenario that I'm developing. And then about the only thing like Aizen as well as like his team, like the different at that point, like Thousand would have definitely died. It will be just Aizen and Ichimaru that will be remaining, along with like Aizen's like entire army of like especially or part follow like the scenario that I'm looking. So like at that point, I'm also putting Aizen like taking the decision to basically let's just get ready and like let's just Aizen taking the decision and realize, and it might have not be, it might have been like a thing, a goal that Aizen might have had already from like the distant past, but like Aizen might have totally decided that basically like after like possessing like the power of technology for like Aizen to basically destroy both like the whole society as well as the human world. It's like the might have been like the plan of Aizen all along. It's definitely my personal. So like I'm different. And also definitely my personal impression is that most likely one can't exist without others. Like because like if the whole society gets destroyed, like the human world as well would be automatically getting destroyed in like the process. And simultaneous and other likewise otherwise as well. It's definitely my personal impression. So like I'm different. Like it will be only like the world of follows that will be like totally detached and totally free from any sort of imbalance. Like even if it was like the human world as well as the world of society like gets destroyed, still like the world of follows would be like a totally different kind of like dimensional kind of place that wouldn't be able to be destroyed, even if like the human world as well as like the society gets destroyed. It's definitely my opinion. It will be like a detached kind of world. It's definitely my environment. So I'm also trying with that intent like even eventually deciding to like basically with like processing the power like to like Ethan eventually like after a while like Ethan eventually deciding to like show up eventually showing up into like the soul society to destroy the soul society. So like I'm considering like even though Gendo say around like it went through the like successfully retreating back then like I'm considering from like the word of follow back then with like even through successfully finally succeeding in like even saving costume or as well. Considering even then like after escaping like I'm considering like most likely like emphasize telling Ichigo and all of them that basically definitely now since like Ethan has finally possessed like the power of like the whole queue, Ethan will be definitely eventually showing up to like the Soul Society to destroy like the Soul Society. So like I'm wondering from that point like after like even though like if even through had he would have like totally failed to like as well as like Scott Captain would have totally failed to like bring down Timaru and Ethan like I'm wondering and get the host you back. Like still, I'm differing like them totally from that point on. Them totally fighting like an attack on like the soul society. So like and from that point on, like training extra hard and I'm differing regardless of either like Urahara or like Yoroichi. I'm differing only one of them to be like remaining alive at that point. So like regardless of whoever it is, like I'm differing. That person would be that certainly giving that private ultimate training for like it went through. It's like the scenario that I'm considering. While like I'm considering maybe in like the social society Gentry, I would be like giving that absolute training to like all his squad captains as well. So that like all of them could like totally prepare for like the incoming upcoming attack by Ace and like the whole of all like social society to destroy the society. Like the scenario that I'm considering. And before like Urahara dying, like I'm considering maybe like the world of follows like while Ambassador like while they were prepping for Orihime, like Ambassador Urahara secretly having like private interaction with like Yorichi, or like Urahara would be probably revealing to Yorichi that basically most likely, regardless of even if like Urahara eventually ends up becoming like the person, like Urahara might totally tell Yorichi that like by the time would be we would be like leaving this world of all of like one of us would be definitely either most likely it will be just one of the us that will be definitely dying like and like the flavor this is the message that like in that secret interaction between like Urahara and Yorichi, Urahara might have only told Yorichi about like the most likely a high scenario of like only one of them being able to like survive by the time that they will be escaping from like the world of Apollo. So like Urahara might have told Yorichi that like if I am the person that ends up that like then like what exactly Yorogi has to do, not to like even further strengthen up Ichigo and Kuro to be able to like finally to get them strong enough to be able to like stop like Aizen and his like force like basically and get that the whole to like basically all of instruction like I'm preparing for Hara totally is telling secretly telling Yorogi even before like they were making it to where Aizen would be where into having like the fight against like Ichimaru and like Tosen in like the and like the whole army in like the world of follows. It's like the scenario that I was for it. So like even after like all of them like escaping from like eventually all of them escaping from like the world of follows and those different things like you're already precisely giving this exact training or like exact like things that Orahara might have told your even before that like basically you're already doing that all of that like even forgot to give that exceptionally high succeed rate for strength of like everyone to and to get them ready and prepared for like the incoming attack upcoming attack that's also ready by Ace and it's like ultimate army of like the whole of like the scenario that I was for and after like precisely fully completing this training and preparing this it's went through basically heading off once again back to like the South Society and like then Aizen and his legendary the whole weekend part of something Aizen and his legendary army of followers and everything. And it's Maru, like all of them showing up to like totally destroyed like the South Society. And right then like the ultimate war will be like happening. It's like scenario that I'm in which like I'm so different most likely Ichigo maybe like not only like Ichigo would be like possibly repeating Ichimaru, but like Ichigo would be also like defeating Aizen. That's like one possibility that I'm talking about. And that's only like one possibility that I'm talking about. The possibility like during that whole war that will be taking place in like substance future and English also that I'm considering while Ichigo would be fighting off against Aizen and Ichigo will be struggling his way into like defeating Aizen and Ichigo I'm considering eventually totally outsourcing and defeating Aizen. And I'm considering like one Ichigo will be taking the life and Ichigo taking the life of Aizen is also like the scenario that I'm considering. But like precisely as Ichigo will be taking the life of Aizen like this is something like Ishimaru, like until that point, like maybe like maintaining that ultimate stealth and patiently waiting for that moment where like for like either Ishimaru by then might have been like secretly forming his own ultimate plans to basically hoping that it really Ishimaru might have by then might have witnessed like the truth like exceptional level of strength of like Ichigo that like Ishimaru might have totally expected that eventually in this like war that will be taking place to like destroy like society basically there will be like a ultimate fight between like Ichigo and Aizen and in that fight like once Ichigo would be like weakening Aizen like Ishimaru might be totally planning on like at also attacking Aizen and that way to like take Aizen's life and basically steal the whole Hokage and what so that like Ichimaru will be able to like make to protect the power of the Hokage might be like Ichimaru plan and Ichimaru by then might have totally figured out some sort of like unique power of Ichimaru or like some sort of like another strategy or something, some sort of an other sort of like exceptional weapon or something like Ichimaru by then will be having like its own plans and strategy like exactly usually on possessing that so that like Ichimaru would be totally think that eventually if like once like Ichimaru would be possessing like stealing the Hokage from Aizen like Ichimaru would be like far superiorly or god and stronger than even Aizen like Ichimaru will be saying so like it is still Ichimaru not for Ichimaru to get like the Hokage from Aizen to be able to like steal the Hokage from Aizen like Ichimaru would totally need Ichigo's help would be also what Ichimaru would be totally thinking so like Ichimaru at that point would be the only thing that Ichigo would be like the only person who would be currently at that point would be able to like stand against like and fight off against like Aizen to even be able to like cause any sort of like significant damage to Aizen who would even have even while Aizen will be considering like the power of the whole video along the lines Ichimaru will be. So like at that fight from the time of differing, but Ichimaru being totally shocked with like Ichigo like in that fight against like Aizen, how Ichigo was fast assessing Aizen like Ichigo which is struggling pain to like eventually getting some sort of an extreme power of it that Ichigo will like eventually totally fighting and or sorry and defeating and taking the life of Aizen. Just like no scenario that I will do. But separately as Aizen would be dying like Ichimaru would be like spatially jumping in because like Ichimaru would be basically waiting for that moment. So like Ichimaru precisely jumping in when Kurodono will be expecting it like Ichimaru straight away jumping in and stealing the whole Hokage from Aizen and Ichimaru possessing the Hokage and power of like the overview. And by then, like I'm referring to go being like totally exhausted from not only exhausted, but like having taken a lot of injury from his fight against Aether. But like at that point, like to go be having to like face off against like a fresh, even more exceptionally stronger enemy villain that even stronger than way stronger than Hokage possessing Aizen, and that will be definitely the Hokage power like bring Ichimaru with like some sort of a different other weapon, especially or power weapon as well like the scenario that I'm limiting. So like at that point would be like when like the ultimate true serious fight will be like not serious like but like the ultimate true like extremely difficult fight for like Ichigo would be even taking place. It would be like the ultimate fight between like Ichigo with like a Ichimaru fight. Just like the scenario that I'm talking about, in which like Ichigo would definitely be having to like struggle way more than Ichigo would have ever struggled in his like like ever in like any fight that Ichigo would have fought up until that point. For Ichigo to like finally be able to like extremely struggle his way to like finally being able to like overpower and defeat Ichigo. It's like the scenario that ends up like I thought to see Ichigo that way, like finally succeeding in like overpowering and defeating and taking the life of Ichimaru, or like I'm also trying to struggling his way to like eventually overpowering and defeating Ichimaru. But then even then like Ichimaru still succeeding in like escaping and basically like Sumaru heading off to like maybe some other dimension, like that's not would not even be like the dimension of like the world of all, like maybe Sumaru finding out heading off to like some other dimension of something is like the other future scenarios that end up there on the okay, so like I definitely have a really impression right now that like the disturbing rumors that Kyoto has the leak precisely connected to like or he may be taken and they and trapped in like the world of all. This definitely have a impression and but the only thing Kyoto right now with like again rules is like declaration of like having sent an investigative force like as and all that to like to bring down Ethan like literally like Kyoto suddenly might be like totally connecting these two like or he messed with the theorem as well as like the investigative force of like gendercide together with like the scenario that I'm delivering. And theoretically, right now, the only thing that basically like that Orihime being like trapped in like the world of all of us might have to do with like the investigative force being sent by gendercide. Gendercide is some sort of like empathy lacking, like villainous kind of plan to like get possibly get Ichigo and Kuro as like better subject to like the word of follow or something. Might be along the line your code we currently thinking is definitely my person to remember as for like your code like person definitely my person to remember but definitely I'm personally my person to remember is definitely that like your code would be like definitely wrong and I'm also trying like those precise three people that opened like the gate leading to like the world of Holofans that looked to the previous character who perhaps Okina into like the world of Holo would have absolutely nothing to do with like Entrosite or like Entrosite like investigative secret investigative force. It's definitely my person to remember that my person that those previous character would be only connected to Kurahara and Kurahara alone. Definitely my person to remember that is still thinking on where for like Entrosite like secret investigative force that might have already been that might have already gone to like the world of follow like and so different like two possibilities. One possibility is basically for like the investigative force of gendercide like even currently being present in like the world of follow and still have not been captured or found out by any other follow. And so like I'm referring them like those investigative force of like uh, both investigative for henchmen of gender right precisely eventually becoming of great help for like Orpheus protection in like the world of Solid. That's like by sheer point that's just like the scenario one possibility of like a scenario that maybe I'm bring like a follow like totally sporting like or Orhime like the world of follows and basically like that follow was really trying to like take Orhime like but like at that point like the investigative force Kendra totally spotting Orihime and realizing that it's like a human in like the world of horror. So like that investigative force of the other side probably taking the life of that horror and stealthily like since like they will be most likely other things like they will be like stealthily like rescuing Orihime and like they will stealthily going into hiding and then trying like Orihime like a bond between being formed between like Orihime and like those investigative forces and like that way, like the presence of like the investigative force again by being like the sole protection of like Orihime until he's going through eventually makes it to like the world of Orochi. This is like one positive element, right? The second positive is basically for like Orihime like straight away after like entering into like the world of Orochi, like Orihime possibly straight away having fought by like a holo and being brought to that holo instead of like taking Orihime's life like that holo having like brought Orihime to precisely Ichimaru or like it would most likely to Ichimaru like the scenario that I'm remembering and Ichimaru deciding to like not taking Orihime's life and basically keep Orihime in there so that like Ichimaru would eventually want it to go through to like come to a thing to like the word of all so like Ichimaru would want to take it to and through like and so like if like the scenario that gets that happens then I'm personally referring like the investigative force of a person sent by Genro would be currently present in like the word of all I'm probably referring like them eventually in the through their attempt like to basically bring down a number referring them definitely not being as their skills not being like good enough for them to be able to like even succeed in like their mission, and that way like them usually getting captured by seriously strong hollows, and then preparing like those hollows like most likely devouring like the source of like these investigative force of like Genrosai, and so like that way like Genrosai attempt using like this assassin investigative force like only seriously backfiring on Genrosai, and it's only eventually resulting in like basically Ethan and Ichimaru having like even more stronger follow subordinate, especially the right follows like what they will be like devouring the source of these precise investigative force that henchmen of Gelrosai, like they will be obviously definitely having like high pixel energy, so like basically devouring the souls like turning those follows like sharply increasing like the powers of those follows, and that way that Ethan that way like Genesis attempt only resulting in like Asian getting like Asian origin or getting like even more strong all of the bots like the other possible scenarios that are built around everything and the movie can do. So like I definitely know those interior position right now for like certainly right now even starts if you haven't had memory erased about like forgetting about the forgetting about dog in it. While precisely people like Ichigo, Chad, Ishida, Renji, like all these people precisely have their memory intact of Orihime. And so people definitely exactly like even like the last time when like Rukia had been like forcefully taken by Jesus and taken to like the society by Jesus, like even then like they actually even while like the entirety of like sport even since like even back then like Rukia was like even studying in Ichigo school, like even then, like all of it was like classmates, like only forgetting having their memory erased about like Rukia. Yet, like precisely these people, like Orihime had like Ichigo and Ishida, like having their memories intact of Orihime. Precisely because of like precisely Urahara and Urahara alone. It was definitely my personal reference. Because like both written the previous times when Rukia had been affected as well as currently as like Orihime has been like drafting like the word of Boros, like precisely it's like Urahara that totally want like it's going to like have their memory intact so that like they would precisely have that need to like basically head off to like they will be eventually that way be heading off to like the site locations where Urahara decided like initially to like the society like for Rukia, not Rukia, but like the whole queue within Rukia back to like the human world. And right now with like Urahara secretly only wanting to like into and through like adopt to like the having this through this need like into and through wanting to have Urahara wanting like it went to like adopt to like the word of Apollo and bring in like the attempt to bring Orihime back like it Urahara definitely wanting it to improve like eventually be having a situation where like it's will be having to like fight off against like Ethan, and that way like for it to go and through to like basically bring back the whole issues from the word of Apollo to the human world. It's definitely the reason of like Urahara would be like the whole reason for like precisely and exactly to going through alone, like not losing their memories. And so, I mean, my Pythagorean version that like Urahara have been taught, might have been only spying on Rukia, spying and secretly stalking Rukia ever since like Urahara in like the distant past might have placed like his whole issue on Rukia. It's definitely my Pythagorean version. So, I would think that like the whole issue might have been like ensuring like the moment or Haramita when like Western was like created and realized that the whole you can't be for like basically that experience concern might have been formed and top priority in Ohara's life from that point on might have been to like ensure that like the whole you doesn't that can't be destroyed doesn't fall in like into like the hands of any villain. So like I'm the still then like I'm like Ohara might have secretly only spied on Arupya since like that day. Certainly, my cousin is that Russia's growth in like the Rokan and everything might have been secretly totally stopped and spied by Cecily or Haram. Even back then, definitely my cousin and even back then, I was only talking like precisely Urahara had might have like even back then might have had like that good bond of friendship with precisely Yoroichi is technically my Pythagorean relation. So like my Pythagorean relation is technically that like Yoroichi Urahara, the only person that Urahara even back then might have told talked to and told about like precisely the whole you might have been certainly Yoroichi and Yoroichi alone. Technically my Pythagorean relation. So like even while like Yoroichi was like the whole captain of like the self leader of like self force, like even then I was referring Yoroichi might have precisely knew about like Rukia and how like precisely about like the whole behavior and stuff. Yes, certainly my cousin remembers. So like I was referring eventually like once like But precisely like Urahara was kicked out of like the whole society, and so Urahara was forced into like having to like go up to like the human world, to live in like the human world. Like I'm considering like at that point I'm considering precisely before like Urahara left, like Urahara might not only ensure that basically Russia as well eventually get trapped in like the human world, and that would be like the precise reason for like Urahara before like being kicked out of like the right before being like totally kicked out of like the society. Urahara might have potentially ensured to like manipulate Urahara might have totally turned Rukia unconscious and might have totally manipulated Husky guy so that like he would slowly eventually turn into human so that like since like Urahara is being kicked out and will be forced to like live in like the human world, like Rukia as well will be in like Urahara's sight and away from like the villains people of like so represent like the whole society, and they would say so. My Bulgarian impressions that like at that point I was only preparing like Urahara might have so like definitely my Bulgarian impressions that like once like Urahara was like in like the symbol kicked out of like the society and was forced into like the human world. We live in like the human world. At that point like I was preparing before leaving like Urahara might have also like secretly found like European might have totally since like at that point Urahara was in like the was like living in like the human world while Rukia was like totally out of like Urahara's sight and because like Rukia was in like the social society like Urahara might have that extreme fear and worry and concern as for like the possibility of like someone finding out about like Rukia and getting like the whole view from Rukia. So like I'm also putting like Urahara might have totally formed and like totally told Yoriti to like to the spy work in place, spy work and talking of Rukia in place was like Urahara in like the society. So it's like Urahara's absence in like society. So like that might have been what like Yoriti might have been doing. It's also once like Urahara was living in like the world of humans, definitely also might have been. So like I'm also like each time Rukia would be like leaving to the human world as part of her soul reformation numbers between like each time precisely Yoriti might probably Yoriti because like Yoriti was in such top position in like the back when the Yoriti was serving as like the leader of like the self or something. Even Yoriti would straight away would be able to easily collect the intel like and would be whenever like Rukia was like heading off part of her soul reformation to like the human world, especially my personal level. So like each time Rukia will be like that, then it is leaving to the human world and preparing like the Yoriti might have precisely actively phoned and stealthily phoned and reported to like Urahara about like Rukia showing up to like the human world. And like straight away like Urahara might like straight away like once like that way like they would be showing up to like the human world like Urahara would be secretly he's spying and stalking Rukia and seeing if like the effects of like this like manipulation of like Rukia's like CGI has taken enough effects or to the point that Rukia won't be able to like return back to like the first variety. So like Urahara might have been with stalking and spying Rukia this entire time and like eventually once like Rukia came to like the human world and they really like met Ichigo and eventually like the situation of that for like Rukia were like Rukia wasn't like the actual effects of like the manipulation of like the guy was taking place and like Rukia was like slowly turning more and more into human so that like Rukia wasn't able to like return back to like the first state. At that point I'm also think precisely Urahara might have secretly probably phoned Yoruichi and might have totally told Yoriki about like the situation that basically that our like their like missions like kind of like successful and basically that like yeah has been now trapped successfully trapped in like the world of the living. Might have been what like, your Urahara might have found and told Yoriki is definitely never correct. And that might be the point when I'm maybe like Urahara might have one day like straight away like abandoned Yoriji might have one day straight away so casually disappeared and abandoned Yoriji's position as like the leader of like the self force and resulting in Toy Phone eventually being shocked and eventually being like replacing Yoriji as like the leader of like, the self force definitely my position. So like I'm presuming two of this either that incident of like Yoriji in like resistance of like casually one day disappearing and leaving like the position of like the leader of the stealth force might have to do with like uh, maybe either like Rukia showing up into like the into the might have to do with like either Rukia being trapped in like the world of humans, world of living, So since Yoriki as well as Urahara had absolutely great bond even from like the distant past time. So since Yoriki might have totally knew about the 42 lying within Rukia, that might have been like the highest priority for not only Urahara to ensure the protection of like the Hobikyu, but ensure that the Hobikyu remains hidden forever. Like might have been not just like the highest priority for not just like for Urahara but also for Yoriki as well. Even from that time, it's also like a possibility that I'm looking. So that might be the reason for uh, Yorich is so casually abandoning Yorich's position as like the leader of the group. So it's like one person to the other. The second person is basically might have been precisely when you also got kicked from like the soul society and was forced to like live in like the human world. At that point, since Yorich wasn't able to do the whole 5 hours of but the spy was kind talking of like Rukia who was in like the soul society back then. Maybe it might have been at that point that basically Urahara might have totally found maybe at that point the differing maybe precisely Yoriki might have decided to like abandon the position as like a Yoriki position as like the leader of the Chichuan force and might have uh, solely solely just to secretly stalk and spy on Rukia is definitely my considering other possibility as for like why you're taking like the system method like casually left your and abandon your performance sexually or sexual for it's definitely my considering so anyway like my consideration is that like even after like especially when Rukia has met Ichigo for like the first time in like the human world at that point precisely even at that point precisely Kurahara might have been secretly stalking and spying and might have totally been that might be maybe like most likely the point where like when Ruskia so if you go for like the first time might also be like the point when Urahara as well might have been go for like the first time it's also definitely not doing like Urahara this entire time might have been secretly spying on like the progress of like the bond uh, and the strength of like the bond friendship between Rukia and Ichigo growing and all the situations that they have been through and everything like they fighting horrors and everything in like the human world and everything and their bonds is growing and everything. So at that point, Urahara might have only felt that this must be fate because Urahara might have been always thinking of like finding someone with like extremely high spiritual and the potential who could like totally play the role of being like the ultimate protector, forever protector of Earth. Yeah. Earth, so PQ. That's definitely my personal ambition. But like Urahara might have totally seen himself as like not ever being able to like reach like even though Urahara will be exceptionally strong, like still Urahara will be totally saying that like still just like the point would still will be having like the limitations and basically he still won't be able to like reach the ultimate protector of like the Hokage in Arudhya. So so that might be the reason for and so it might have been totally a shocking coincidence for like Orahara in seeing Ichigo was like the person with like the ultimate potential and being and eventually like the bond between Rukia and Ichigo growing to the point where it might have only felt as like a fate to or like an extreme absolute coincidence or like a fate for like Orahara that Rukia that Ichigo slowly turning into bringing simultaneously Ichigo bringing out more and more of his potential and gaining more and more in his strength. Like it goes naturally even becoming like more and more of a protector of Rukia. Exactly like how Urahara wanted. Definitely members of the same research. So I'm also bring this entire time Urahara might have been totally spying on stalking on Rukia and Ichigo. And I'm also bring after a while Urahara might have totally wanted to start maybe start focusing on experiments Orara might have maybe thought of the possibility of experimenting on a way to basically transfer the whole details from Rukia to Ichigo's body I'm just especially because Orara might have totally been extremely impressed with the exceptional potential of Ichigo and even though currently Ichigo might not be so exceptional and extremely strong Orara might be able to totally see the eventual future of Ichigo Ichigo being so exceptionally strong, maybe even than Genrosai might have been something that Urahara might have been able to see. So I'm just bring especially because of this I'm just bring Urahara might have then decided to focus on his experiments and basically Urahara might since then might have been experimenting on a way to transfer the whole cube from Rukia into Ichigo. That might have been Urahara's ultimate goal. Is definitely from that point on, it's definitely my consideration. So maybe while Urahara might have decided to seriously focus on his experiments, while Urahara might have decided that like in order for him to like do the 5 hours of the Ichigo and yeah, like basically he would need like henchmen. So like I'm considering maybe at that point that he might have perfectly thought of like Don Kennedy as well as like the two other mysterious henchmen to like totally work for like Urahara. And they might have been doing like the entire 5 hours of like Ichigo and Ogya and might have been reporting it all to like Urahara since then. It's definitely also my personal question. So precisely I'm also introduced precisely because of like Urahara always having like always secretly spying on Ichigo and Rukia, and that time would be like the precise reason for like precisely as like Rukia was like forcefully taken away by Rukia and Rinji as well at that precise point itself like basically Urahara precisely even erasing like the memories of like the entirety of like the classmates of Ichigo and Rin. And basically all that might have been to totally make things like more comfortable and easier for like Ichigo to like totally only focus on just like rescuing and bringing back Rukia. So also the element of the remedy. So like that very same thing would be exactly what like Urahara would be also doing in like the present as well. Definitely, and I'm considering when Bayaka had shown up, I'm considering maybe I'm considering like even though Urahara might have been like exceptionally strong, I'm considering like uh, the precise reason for like Urahara not fighting Bayaka and like stopping Bayaka from taking away his like precious holy within like Rukia. I'm considering maybe it might have to do like even though like Urahara might be like exceptionally strong and all like I'm still and even though your as well would have all sorts of unique flash stuff, would be like a pro at flash stuff and all that. Like still, I'm considering even still in like a one versus one fight, like I'm considering definitely like neither Urahara nor Yorichi's presence strength won't be like nowhere near to like won't be strong enough to like or defeat by a pair. It's definitely my considering, and that might be the reason for like that might be the best reason for like neither like Urahara nor Yorichi like it is, trying to like attempting to like basically stop like and like and that way like even attempting to like prevent Bayaka from earlier when Bayaka personally took Rukia and the whole queue away from like the human world to like the whole society. It's definitely also my person theory. So like basically because of all these reasons of being my person theory will be like the best reasons for like I'm considering like even in like the present like basically precisely like as like or image being like trapped in like the world of hollows, like precisely coincidentally, like especially like all of the memories of like it's going through like classmates, including Chaturity, like memories being precisely and convenient, it's so conveniently being erased, except for like precisely Ichigo and Cruz, like Ichigo, Chan, Ishida, and Renji, like precisely their memories alone, like not being erased, really precisely because of all these reasons and all this play of like play behind the scenes of like Urahara and Urahara's like ultimate master villains kind of like a selfish master plan to retrieve back that's only intended to like retrieve back the soul so Hobikyu alone. It's definitely my personal interpretation. So like my personal interpretation right like, as that I'm society being highly towards like I thought it is the high possibility of black especially that gate through this like or in a path like basically and seeing as it like continuous part like the one sort of like that gate would be like an absolute fake gate of like the original gates leading to like the world of follows it's definitely a very person. So technically it was like Urahara actually runs like a soul shop like Urahara definitely would be able to like, create all sorts of such like fake and artificial kind of like engage for something which official gates of like us into like the world of college. It's definitely not interested. So like I'm also wondering it might have been like some sort of like a gate through which like a teleportation like thing happened. In which like I'm also wondering precisely and how to like activate those gates like precisely or might have given some sort of a soul device to activate that precise gate to like precisely those henchmen of like three henchmen of like Orahara, and one of them being like one of those henchmen being the Kennedy might have been what exactly might have happened exactly so like they might have stayed there and they might have patiently waited until like Ichigo and the others sent that picture and will be making it to like Orihime house for them to like precisely and they might have been precisely those henchmen of Orihime might have been actually waiting until like Ichigo go makes it there and they might have totally seen like Ichigo child and I think like Ichigo making it there and Ichigo and Renji I think like making it there and basically to precisely so that like Ichigo would be like probably witnessing Ichigo and Renji would be like witnessing like of him being like dragged into that gate that is exactly, and that way like precisely correct. If you go into like totally, totally, and also if you totally thinking that basically that Orihime had actually past been trapped in like the world of horror. Like this might have been like a trick that Orihara might have totally played. Definitely also my person to rent. So definitely my person to rent. So like I'm also saying, Orihara might have also given either trained or like given some sort of a device through which like I'm also saying a person to like asleep could be like totally uh, prevented from being able to like be woken up from like the sleep like state. So like that might have been what precisely the that might have, and could be like forcefully made to like kind of like sleepwalk. Maybe like that might have been what along the lines might have been like what like precisely those henchmen of Urara might have done to like Orihime, or like Orihime to like precisely walk up into like that precise gates to be totally a fake gate. It's definitely my personal impression. So the moment Orihime even entered that gate and Ichigo and Orange saw that like the moment Orihime had even entered that gate, what might have happened would be like through that special sword uh, fake kind of like gate. But the moment Orihime entered into that gate, like Orihime might have felt instantly being like, teleported into precisely Urahara's like shop. If the soul shop was definitely what might have happened. So like straight away what Orahara might have done might have been straight away like Orahara might have used like some sort of like such like soul device on of him to like precisely fully cancel out of him as like pictures from him. Or like Orahara might have Orahara might have like imprisoned like or him in like some kind of like soul soul like box or like kind of like thing or like in a room where like Orahara might have created that could like fully eliminate like others' ability to like send like spiritual structure of like the person within that room or like within that in person within that person thing is like my personal impression. So like that might be something that Orahara might have done, might have been precisely what Orahara might have precisely timed it and precisely done it precisely as like the moment like Orihime had passed through that gates of gates of like the world of Hollow seeming thing and basically instantly cancelled out Orihime's like future of this way. Might have been what Orahara might have done. So that's to like make it seem as like convincing and especially for Orahara that way to make it seem as much as that much convincing and that way to successfully trick it to go and through into thinking that okay, man, actually passed down through into like the and scrapped in like the world of all of this. Definitely my picture and vision. So it might be like exactly what Orahara might have done. So that like this way, like precisely without getting Okime into any sort of trouble, like basically actual trouble, like Orahara might have been. This might be like the next trick of Orahara to like get it to improve to like go to like the world of Hollow, world of Hollow, like fight it and defeat it and then bring like the Hokage back to like the world of the Ligide. So definitely my person to impression. So like definitely my person to impression right now that like basically while he's going through would be like about to like investigate or for him as home. Like I'm wondering what they would be like necessarily finding in there would be like either like two possibilities. Either they won't be able to like find any sort of clues at all. So then like or him as home or like either unconscious or like nothing. The other possibility that the thing is or like Urahara to like once again that literally to and through in such a way that basically Urahara would be like he might have given orders to his like henchmen to like possibly leave some sort of a specific clue in that precise form of Orihime that would like indeed and create that absolute reason for like to go and go to like straight away after seeing that specific book for each event would like straight away want to like approach Urahara. So that like Urahara could totally get like do his thing and trick Ichigo and through even more and proceed to like Urahara's goal to like get Ichigo and through to like the world of follows. Like it would be what most likely what might be this it would be like either one of these two properties as like what it's definitely my personal impression. Okay, so like definitely my personal impression right now is just like this game, the third number of people is prior. So it most likely like a subordinate of henchman of like or like and for like the game I'm personally not different. So obviously definitely we address that for like it's work to set up the chat and arrange specifically, definitely my personal impression. And definitely putting like most likely like two positives either for like this game to totally end with like the final part towards like the ending of the game would be most likely Ichigo and through totally getting sustained to like the actual gates of gates of like the actual gates of like the world of the like I'm remembering towards the end of the game like it was and pro like actually being getting stuck into that world of horror, the actual world of horror through the actual gates of like the world of horror. Then was remembering like Urahara by now might be like things like Urahara like can create all sorts of like soul related things and everything. So I was wondering Urahara might have actually succeeded in like creating like the actual uh, case of a lead to like the world of horror. So like I'm referring to that actual gate opening up towards the end of the game and it's going through being falling into that actual gate and being trapped in like actually being trapped in the world of horror. Genuinely believing that Orihime is actually presenting like the world of horror when in actuality like Orihime would definitely be present somewhere in like horror shop. It's definitely my consideration. I need to go into at that point only realizing that only after like fighting off against like Ichimaru, probably usually fighting off against like Ichimaru and eventually once they will be escaping from like the they will be reaching a point where they will be forced to like escape from maybe like the world of Polos and it will be only at that point when returning back that you see them even finding out about like what may actually be present in like the what may actually present in like for a shop like that's like one possibility that I'm based from the thing and like the other possibility that I'm the thing is basically for like it to be like most likely also, like the other possibility that I'm going to think is sort of this set game that like the people went to have to play with girl number like I'm just like this game is like eventually resulting in like most likely went through being forced into like some sort of like an extreme training or like into like some situation they would set up by precisely by or Haraku precisely sharply bring out like the and sharpening with like it went respect by releasing like the inner potential contained with like Ichigo as well as like the Sedan as well as like RNG which would be like a which would be like a process that would have like extremely serious side effects but like and I was wondering it might be something that Kurahara might have experimented and succeeded in only just recently so like to totally like to test it out on each going through and that way to like basically get them to like that way probably O'Hara wanting to like get them to a whole another higher level of strength so that like O'Hara would be like eventually able to like get them to like so that like at that point O'Hara would be the only thing that they would be really not prepared at that point to like basically enter into like the world of Hollow. It's definitely the other possibility that I'm considered only for things because like Urahara might be like even though like my personal theory is that like the precisely Urahara even possibly even attempting in such a manner like it would be precisely maybe due to like Urahara only thing that is even though like Urahara was the precise person that had helped it went through even like when Rukia was taken away like even though it was Urahara that had helped it went through to get to like the soul society and all that. Still, I'm considering like Orahara thing that basically since this time it's like the trick that Orahara played was like basically to make this like fake situations where like Chilean crew would be believing that like for him as genuinely being trapped into like the world of Polo. So that like I'm wondering even Orahara might not only thought that like Chilean crew might not like approach Orahara because like maybe since like not like so bad and things like the gates to like the world of Polo like maybe Chilean crew even thinking that neither not even Orahara not being able to help them and so like maybe even through not even approaching Orahara is like the other possibility that like Orahara might have maybe thought of like maybe that might be the reason also due to for like things like also like Orahara is like the person who had basically created like the Hogikyu as well. Like Urahara might be like totally knowing the truth about the Hogikyu that like basically possibly and which end up considering that they wouldn't be having like so much too much of a time before like Ethan fully prepares to like the Hogikyu and like Ethan fully touches like the Hogikyu. So from Urahara's point of view, Urahara would be totally think that he doesn't have like any time to like waste. Like trying to convince Ichigo to like go through this training that has extreme serious side effects or something or like extreme risk element will be having this training to like unleash the potential within like you and through or like to basically for like or like certainly Urahara won't be like seeing like times to purchase to even waste for like eventually for like having like a Juan through eventually like think of like approaching Urahara and like taking Urahara cells and that way getting into like passing through budget and all that. So like I'm preferring to quickly get the Juan through. I have to quickly get the Juan through to like the world of hollows by quickly trapping them into like the world of hollows towards the end of this game, or like I'm considering either for like Urahara to like totally force this like extreme side effect or like a element processing like training mode to like it's going to quickly to like get unleash like the potential within like dual throw and that way prepare them to like basically enter like the world of hollows. So this quickly might be the precise reason for like Urahara especially using all this henchmen and like making this like tense moment of like Orahara most likely to play this game with like it go, which will definitely be a traffic definitely of the generation that is thinking about it. Most of like definitely of the generation right now is that like the sharpest among Ichigo's current role with like the team of like Ichigo, Chad, Renji as well as Ishida. Like among them the sharpest would be definitely Ishida and like the second sharpest and the second most intelligent would be Renji. But like about the currently like maybe like instead of like having lost his like 23 powers might have been like so being turned a lot less sharp as well in when it comes to like in terms of thinking and being able to like after situations also doesn't even go into that. And that might be the for reason for like Ishida when not even being able to like see like predict or like see things along the lines of like the villain who like with like the affection of like Orihime basically like while like uh, they have figured out that there is someone like behind this like basically like still them not being able to like realize that my personal areas for like them still not being able to like see things through the lens that basically it is definitely not someone who's like extremely villainous that's like behind Orihime's like disappearance especially because of like that villain like having because of that person has going through to the extent of like basically erasing all the memories of like their classmates, including Sasuke, basically, which like someone a true villain would even care about, like going through such an extent or like a true villain wouldn't even care about like if all the like Ichigo Crow's like classmates, like their classmates, including Natsuki, even had like the memory of like Orihime and like had even realized that Orihime had been abducted. Like even then, like basically, if it were like a true villain, like that villain wouldn't even through extremely true villain with like extremely villainistic nature or anything like basically that villain wouldn't even care if like their memories were erased or not. But like yet for the suspicious like mystery character like who has like abducted or he may like even going through such extreme extent like would be like hence like the possibility of like the villain being not such an extremely extreme villain or anything and hence like the possibility of like the person behind like or him as like abduction possibly even leaning more towards the possibility of it being like Urahara precisely because of like precisely because of like if I not even being able to like think along such lines and considering it would probably have to do possibly to do with like should not only losing like unlike like people like Renji, Ichigo and Chad like basically specifically the fact that Ishida is not the fact that Ishida is still not being able to like think along such lines and that's the situation along such lines might have to do with like Ishida maybe like having lost his like sharpness and his like tactical thinking and everything and assisting capabilities on losing his like intrinsic powers. It's definitely my Pythagorean impression. It was like my Pythagorean impression were like especially because of like Ishida for people like being while being like so extremely intelligent like they really still Ishida not even also in like the person while Ishida is like fully aware of like the extremes to which like people like Urahara and Yoroichi would even go to get their solely to just get the Hokiku back through basically everything Urahara as well as like Yoroji has done right now with like connecting to like Ichigo Ishida and all of them like basically was all to like not save Rukia but solely to like get the Hokiku back. And especially since like the current situation is like the Hokiku with like the Hokiku being an Aces position and Aizen currently being having left to the word that follows, like basically pointedly right now with like female disappearance as well through the gate of follows. Like basically like all this being like connected, like the fact that like or the fact that if someone as intelligent as like Ishida is like only unable to like connect all these dots and most like across and totally pinpoint like the villain as like Urahara would be and not even remotely even suspecting like specifically Ishida not even remotely even suspecting Urahara even after the entire time. My personal impression is that like Urahara being behind possibly behind this like not even suspecting Urahara even after like this entire time would specifically have to most likely with like with Ishida most likely having like lots of like sharpness in when it comes to like thinking on losing the like 20 powers. So also definitely my person direction. Maybe like the 20 powers have while Ishida possesses like the 20 powers, it might have also power like the power to like grant a certain level of like superior intelligence as well to Ishida. It's also definitely my person direction. So like the 20 powers of like Ishida might have not been might currently not be able to like think so thing with such clarity and as he used to, and that may be the reason for like instead of all people like even Rafi after all this time like not suspecting, not even remotely suspecting or otherwise definitely my percentage infection. So like definitely my percentage impression right now for like the tiny phone booth into like his like to and to have all stuff comes into and different that phone booth like right now possibly like transforming into like a gate, like the annex transforming into like an actual gate of like the hollows and basically that way like it will go and so like being interacting to like the world of hollows with that gate opening. It's like the scenario that I'm going to that phone booth will definitely be a soul like a soul device that created precisely by Suraharashi precisely most likely trap and get it going through into like the world of all of this definitely not the infection right now. Yes, so like definitely not the infection right now is that like they released I think like they believe that the gate like that opened and like let it and that the is went through to like someone who wants to like serve soul society I think was like present within like Urahara shop and was preparing like the gate as well, like the actual gate that allows a person to travel from like the human world to like the world of photos. That precisely Urahara might have precisely by might have created like the original gates as well to like the gates of photos as well. Which would be like protected right now because they're only like only opening up most likely when Ichigo would be like President would be like least expecting it and delivering and answering like the third and final phone call in like within like Orahara shop I'm working right now that whole gate to like another gate to like only open up and I'm working super to driver that gate totally like sucking Ichigo and through into that gate or like I'm considering like that gate opening up and I'm looking like that girl in like that phone call totally telling Ichigo and through like basically that Orihime is on like the other side of like that gate like you have to like if you want or if you want to like save rescue Orihime like you have to like pass through that gate and I'm also like even though might be feeling like extremely suspicious to like to all of them like I'm also Ichigo and through like I'm also it's worth saying that like there's no other choice and basically like all of them deciding to like enter into like that gate and like the moment they will be like entering that gate like before they could like do anything like the moment they will be like entering like that gate will be straight away instantly closing behind them and that way like it went through being trapped into like the world of all of them. It's like the scenario that I'm going to predict and my personal impressions also were like through that zone that Ichigo would be answering within like a horror shop and was preparing like precisely that this girl would be like totally would be having like the power to like change her voice into like any voice that she has heard. So, like or she would just like change it her voice into like any voice of her imagination as well. Maybe like that like individuals kind like the phone might have like the special power of like magic special power that might have that might enable her to like that she might have such an ability which allows us to like be able to like do that as well. So like limit into so like I'm talking it that lets you herself like basically changing her voice and through the phone like talking to Ichigo and through in like Orihime's voice that basically that for him like telling each other through that like exactly as that gate would be opening like different like for his voice would be heard through the phone and basically him telling each other that like I'm right on like the other side like and I can like please come save me like along this line like for him speaking through that phone, and I'm departing straight away, like it's going through, like straight away jumping into that gate, and like that gate most likely closing, and I'm departing, and I'm departing, like maybe like Orihime might have not even, it was at that time definitely Orihime might have not even entered through that case. The actual case, it might have, I'm still thinking about the version that like the first gates of like the follow that Orihime was dragged into might have been totally a fake case, and I'm departing precisely after like it went through the entering and will be trapped into like the word follows, like I'm departing, it might be only after that I'm departing. After that I'm departing, like maybe the team of like Urahara, Joroichi, as well as like Orihime, I'm departing, like will be entering into that side gate of follows into the world of follows, like after a while, like the scenario that I'm basically like. So like Urahara might be like pretty confident that initially like Isuo and who will be like tough enough to be able to like survive in like the world of follows. And considering like Urahara deciding to like enter into like along with like Yoroshi and along with like Orihime deciding to like, and like from the rough point of view, like it's extremely easy for like Urahara to like totally trick Orihime to like making her enter into like the into like the gates of follows, precisely because of like Orihime being like extremely trusting, definitely not just into impression. So like I'm bring even Orihime, even while being present in like Urahara's shop, like Orihime might have not even realized that basically, or he might have been in like such an innocent or like contained in like a room like state where like even, or he might have not realized that she is even in Urahara. So Urahara stop. So like I'm considering about like Urahara is when Crow would be getting trapped into like the world of horror. So like I'm considering Urahara totally entering into that room, and basically Urahara somehow still tricking Orihime into like basically making Orihime think that like Urahara has absolutely no role in like Orihime even like ending up in such a situation. And that way I'm debating like Urahara then like manipulating the story and turning it out into such a way somehow that basically as of like Ichigo and who have been like probably trapped into like the world of Hollow like basically, so we have to save Ichigo and so, and in such a manner of like tricking Orihime into like basically it was into like basically entering into like the gaze popping and entering into like the world of Hollow. So with like Urahara as well as like your like financial scenario that I'm positive. So like I'm positive initially it will be possibly going through that will be getting fast and expect the word of follows, and then I'm like without much great delay I'm positive like Urahara, the team of Urahara, Yoruchi as well as like Orihime entering into the very same word of follows, and like them eventually meeting up with each other without much delay. It's like the mental scenario that I'm mentioning about getting a mother for Syrian person. Yeah, so like definitely not a Syrian person right now. It's that like the 8 o'clock like the night would be like the precise time period in which like there will be limitations to like most likely Haram. Even though Haram might have discovered a way to like precisely open up like the gates into like to being able to travel into like the world. So about the bring like that gate that Haram has created might definitely have limitation, and one of the limitation would be precisely like that it would be only be openable especially during like 8 o'clock in like the night. Definitely not open to them. So this might be the precise reason for like the girl in like the phone call even telling is going through to like precisely show up precisely into like the house of like orphanage precisely during 8 o'clock in like the night. Just definitely not open to them. And definitely I'm personally on the bring like precisely to go chat Gandu. Yeah, I mean, like it's about chat like Ishida and like it's about chat Ishida and Renji to like showing up to like Orihime home, Orihime's home like at 8 o'clock. I'm just preparing like another gate opening up, gate like the whole like opening up, and like most likely like it's going through probably like either like definitely I'm considering like the phone in like Optimus home as well, ringing like the scenario that I'm considering, and at that point I'm considering like the gates opening up, and like it will replace like the gate to the world of Fallout will be opening up once again, that I'm considering like the phone call there like ringing in like Optimus home. And at that point as well, it is only answering it, and like there I'm considering like that girl voice like girl is telling each other like okay, so like I will like give you I will like let Fortune speak to you, and I'm personally remembering that little girl itself like precisely speaking in like Fortune's voice and telling that it's going through that basically that Fortune will get only saying things along the lines of like she's so extremely scared, like she's trapped in like the world of horror, and she's so extremely scared, come save me, like along this line like she was saying, and I'm also putting like we should have someone to even have some entire time. Like basically, it is not even suspecting Orahara and Bosipari, like it should as well totally like basically falling into the trap along with like Ichigo, Chad and Renji and like all of them like totally jumping into like that gate of all of that even have opened there right there to precisely save and rescue Orihime and the gate closing behind them right just like the moment they would be entering into like the gate of like Hollow, like the gate instantly like closing behind them. It's like that way like it's even through trap in like the world of Hollow. Like the scenario that I'm talking and my person so like I definitely want to be very encouraging right now. So like the Orihime that listen like Orihime so would definitely be not the actual Orihime. It would definitely be that precise little girl on the phone that basically she might definitely be having like the spiritual ability to like precisely be able to like transform herself and her voice as well into like her desired choosing is definitely one of the language as well. Like it would be that precise little girl like transformed into like an Orihime or in a appearance is definitely matters in temperature. So using the transformation facilities definitely matters in temperature. So definitely I'm looking at something like precisely like if you go and chat and the others like basically they would be only having genuinely thinking that like that's like the access for the man and but the them all having their guard down while in her presence that I'm different like precisely like she will be like that working that fake working and probably got different to precisely wait for like the right moment with like all of them perfectly having their guard down to like precisely so that like at that point about different like totally using some sort of like an attack which is kind of like an attack to like precisely trap Ichigo and through and then the different solely due to like them all having being so relaxed and letting like their entire guard down like and the different like they would be like won't be able to like quickly or easily be able to like escape from that trap like scenario that I was differing and considering like precisely that way for him even setting that trap precisely at the top floor like precisely at the location where like precisely the where Ichigo and Renji had initially seen like or he might get dragged into like that photo glitch like and so something like precisely when Ichigo Chad and all of them will be in like the top floor and also something like that way or he may totally take Ichigo and to all of them to like the top floor of that original and like right there near to the balcony it will be when precisely when and have to like precisely use up attack on like Ichigo and through and like trap them all and then the things exactly at that exact spot like once again that's the because left to go and through the trap like and precisely right then like this exactly like follow it like once again opening up and appearing and opening up and like that way like using the trap attack of like that fake or him and considering right then like once like that follow gate through the opening up and something like okay may like that little girl transforming back from or he makes to like her actual self and like at that point it's going to being on the top but like them only being unable to do anything or free herself free themselves because of being caught in like the traps of like that little girls like of that girl's like attack and I'm considering like her like using her power like to slightly forcefully like making Ichigo through get dragged into like that uh dragged into getting trapped into like that and passing into like the gates of hollow that way and that way Ichigo through getting trapped into like that gates of hollow it's definitely like the scenario that I'm looking at on like nothing and my percentage impression and I'm so like definitely my percentage impression is that like basically after like Orihime having like dragged into like the gates into like the world and being trapped into like the world of all of what exactly Predator Renji and Ichigo having issues means like I'm also wondering even then like basically even though Urahara could just constantly just casually like put himself in front of like Ichiban prototype like Ichiban who will be like frantically searching for him and basically that could like totally create like initiate a conversation with between Ichigo towards like Urahara where like Ichigo would be straight away asking Urahara for help to rescue Orihime. Still I'm preparing like the cyber for reason precisely because like definitely Urahara would be well and fully aware as to like how precious like exactly like yeah, how precious like Orihime is to like Ichigo and Pro and they would be like totally and absolutely fully willing to like basically share lives and go up to exactly like how they went to like the South society just to like rescue and save okay like they would be like wholeheartedly willing absolutely and fully willing to like go up to the world of hollows to like precisely solely to like rescue him as well Precisely, even though Urahara definitely obviously would be knowing this, like still for Urahara definitely most likely having like this always played all these games with like that girl henchman of Urahara and everything might be precisely because of like Urahara only thing that maybe like Urahara might have thought along the lines that basically maybe if like Shizuan to sort Urahara self and like Urahara straight away like basically opened up the gate to like the world of Fallout. Then like I'm going to roll everything. Maybe like Kurahara might have feared about it, or maybe not, even if not CTO, like still Ishida possibly suspecting finding Kurahara suspicious and suspecting the possibility of like Kurahara possibly being behind like Orihime like disappearance. Since like Urahara as well is like so easily and quickly being able to like create like the gates of like college. So like so and especially since like Urahara might have also cleared the possibility that basically of like instead of possibly like seeing through Urahara and basically figuring things out and especially since like Asian like especially since like Ishida know along with like if you go into the like Ishida also like knows of like the certain location of like the Hogikyu being precisely in like the world of polo expectation and so especially because of like how extreme of character and so like that way like basically it should have possibly being able to like see through like Urahara's tricks and basically figuring out that basically like the disappearance of him was like perfectly done by Urahara. So shortly to so that like if such a scenario happens like there will be like the possibility of like Ishida and Ichigo turning against Urahara rather than heading to deciding to head off to like the world of horrors to like say okay so like and then definitely just speaking to my personal position that like Orihime would definitely be currently not be the actual true Orihime would definitely not have at all entered like into and not at all been trapped into like the world of horrors but will definitely be somewhere in like the shop of Orahara even to the present definitely my personal so like in such a manner like basically Orahara not for Orahara's plans to like to precisely get Ichigo and Ro to like travel through like the world of Follow and fight Ace and bring back the Holy Good for to prevent that trap from that goal of like Urahara to get back the Holy Good from failing like and was the prince to precisely so in order for that goal of Urahara to succeed like there should be absolutely no suspicion at all from Ichigo and Ro's side towards like Urahara concerning like Orihime's disappearance. So like I'm different precisely and solely due to that sole reason might be the best reason for like Urahara deciding to like let his like henchman like release this girl member this laughing girl member of like henchwoman of like Urahara to like the whole gate opening thing and basically to precisely throw her to precisely trap and trick Ichigo and throw into like being dragged into and getting trapped into like the world of Polo. Might have been like the strategy that Urahara used and precisely because of this reason will be like the precise reason for like Urahara even using such a strategy. It's also definitely my personal theory and function. Okay, so like definitely it might be very interesting right now is that like Rahara is totally putting on a fake act now, and not only in front of Rahara's family, like the shop, like basically, but also in front of like Loroisi as that is definitely not very interesting, and that's for like the dark cloud, like uh, dark cloud and mysterious cloud, like I'm preparing like it would be like totally and totally created due to like Rahara's action, stealthy action, especially in the and like precisely even like the little girl's voice as well, like especially timing it precisely at 8 o'clock. And considering like that, the dark cloud would be like precisely would be creatable by executable by Urahara using it like secret like experiment like basically that would be like that dark cloud would definitely be like a remote like follow case opening thing. It's definitely my personal theory. So like it would be only be executable and launchable like only during like 8 o'clock in like the night. It's definitely one of the things. So like Sahara might have already done everything in the stealthy manner and might have definitely like approached the direction and location for like dark cloud crystal like clouds to like precisely eventually land in at precisely or of images like so at like precisely 8 o'clock. Which definitely my personal impression. So like I'm considering right now, assuming like the possibility that basically the Orihime in like Orihime's home is like the actual Orihime. Then my personal impression is that like then what would be like right now happening would be most likely that dark cloud precisely like stopping right in front of like okay network and right there like I'm delivering it to precisely get converted and turned into like a gate, like a hollow gate, and that will be like an intensely powerful hollow gate that will be sucking like maybe even sucking like the entire paper in a form of as well as also like a bubble that I'm looking, and that way definitely like the intensity and power of like that hollow gate will be like that Urahara would have definitely created experiences and created would be like extremely intense and created with like the intent to do exactly what it will be like about to do right now, which would be like totally seeing forcefully drawing like basically Ichigo as well as like Ichigo Renji as well as like visual arts as well as Orihime into it, and that way getting trapped into like the world of all with like even the picture pressure like with like a sudden appearance and like sudden pulling in of like through that whole okay like will be escapable even by Ichigo himself. So definitely my version to your version that way like of him and all of them like collectively and together being dragged into that actual holocaust is like the scenario that I'm depicting. Like and like the moment they would be getting dragged in, like that gate, like instantly closing it and disappearing. It's like the scenario that I was doing. That way, like the collective of like that, and that way, like the entire the current Ichigo's role and like Ichigo, Shaft, Ishida, and Renji as well as like Orihime, safely getting trapped into like the world of all. Like it's like the scenario that I'm depicting right now. I'm not going to like definitely my passenger impression that I'm thinking also is getting as a lecturer over no and there will definitely be or a like subordinate or henchman. It's definitely my passenger impression. The thing they are doing right now are definitely according to like the secret orders of like Orahara. It's definitely my passenger impression and definitely Orahara is like constantly putting on like as a fake act as it like is totally surprised by all the developments. It's definitely what Orahara would be doing. It's definitely also my passenger impression and definitely my passenger impressions also that like the precise dark cloud that that's currently surrounding like Orihime home. Like I was wondering more than just like it's having like the functionality of like it being able to create like the gates of follows. Like I'm considering it would also have like another power as well, and that would be precisely to like greatly hamper and diminish like the temporarily like contain like the power of like it's going through it's definitely my personal memory. So like I'm also trying with like Kurodo I'm also trying like Urahara might have given like specific costumes to like potentially which would be like soul powered like devices kind of like costume that Urahara might have specifically made for like the three of them like Kurodo, Soba as well as like Lirin. So that like their individualistic spiritual energy alone won't be getting affected by the dark clouds. Definitely my personal and this might be the potential reason for like precisely Kurodo so easily being able to like or for Chad and so easily being able to like track Chad into like the gate. It's definitely my personal impression. So the whole gate is definitely my personal impression. So same thing might have also happened like with like there might have been like the very same dark cloud exactly when by Orihime as well was like possibly taken uh, into like the world of follows as well. So it's also like a possibility that I'm developing also right now. I thought that for Orihime would be or Orihime might have certainly still be present in somewhere in that Urahara like shop. Certainly might have been so like maybe Urahara might be planning on like after like trapping each one into like the world of follows like maybe then like especially because like him going missing was like the necessary element required for like to get like to go and through all of them like especially showing up usually showing up at precisely 8 o'clock in like the night into like Orihime's home so that like they could all be trapped by like that perfect dark cloud and that way be easily offered and trapped into like the gates of all of the technically my positive reference. So like maybe like because if like Ohime all by herself was trapped into like the world of all of like Ohime dying would be like an extremely high positive without like the help of like without the person or help of like if going through beside her like so especially because of the situation and especially because I'm still thinking about the impression that Orahara is definitely behind all of this like I'm going to bring Orahara might have definitely like the initial gate that basically pulled dragged Ohime into it like might have been precisely a fake gate while the current gate that has like pulled chat into it might be like the actual follow gate. Just definitely not the figure. So like Orihime, even right now, the actual Orihime will be present along with in like somewhere in within like Urahara shop. It's definitely my personal impression. So, and Urahara along with like Yoriti would be along with like Orihime would be eventually like heading off to like the world of Polos as well. After like to go and through would be like perfectly getting trapped into like the world of Polos collectively. It's definitely my personal impression. So like right now. So like definitely my personal impression that like the precise like Urahara might have precisely like experimented and designed like specific clothes for like the precise like three henchmen or like precisely Soba I think like and like Karudo as well as like Lirin and the ring to be precisely because of that, them wearing the costume that they are the film just won't be hampered by like the dark cloud especially their ambition and hence why they are like easily being able to like or Ichigo and like easily totally being like way stronger than Ichigo and Kuro. It's definitely my personal impression. So definitely right now, my personal impression that like this might have been like things might be going smoothly according to like Urahara's future plan. So like first Rino or Hime, then Chad, so that like there will be only three of them remaining, like Ichigo as well as like Ishida as well as like Ishida as well as Renki, like but with like the fight being like a 3 versus 3 as well as like the Ichigo and with like Ishida already not having any of the twin powers as well as like then with like Ichigo and well as Renki's like spiritual and just being greatly temporarily reduced due to like the smoke cloud. This might be like the scenario that I'm considering due to the dark cloud, which might be like the scenario that I'm considering. So like that way so that like basically to create such a situation where like it would be like a 3 versus 3 fight would be happening with like the team of like Ichigo Renji as well as like Ishida versus like the team of like Karudo like Soba as well as like Liren. So like it's through that fight like for like them to like easily or for Ichigo and through and for them to like easily push Ichigo and through into like the gate of Hollow might be like what might they would be totally planning for sort of thing, so like even after like Chad being dragged into like the gates of Polos, like even though the gates of Polos closed, like I'm just right now totally think of like that gates to like precisely once again reappear precisely as soon as like Ichigo and Pro would be like awkward and defeated by Karuno and Pro, like scenario that I'm putting. And once like Ichigo and Pro would be defeated, like they would be like easily be pushed into like once again like the gates of Polos opening up and but at that point like Ichigo and Pro slipped into like that gate and that way, like Ichigo and Kuro along with like a child, like they totally trapped into like the world of Hollows, like the current scenario that I'm totally preparing to happen. And my question very much is that definitely like it's very interesting right now with like not only like but Chad as well being like trapped, thinking as like that trapped in like the world of Hollows, like and but there will be still like they will be still present, like both Chad as well as Orihime will still be present somewhere in like the shop of for a definitely going to consider the next but still this like Ichigo Shida as well as like Renji would be genuinely putting that like they have both been trapped in like the world of Star Wars like I'm considering them to be like only worried for like that one like so like I'm considering next time right now the Shada will trapped in like the world of Star Wars I'm considering like the very next thing like Ichigo would be doing would be like I'm considering like the three of them like would be like straight away hurriedly going up to precisely Torahara shop. It's like scenario that I'm looking at again. It's going to be like seeking Torahara's help and it's going to be already asking for right like at that point I'm considering if you go to like not told like none of them should not probably even care about like basically defeating these like three like mysterious characters like Kurodo and Soba as well as like the rest. It's definitely like that they won't even be like their priority. It's going to like priority anymore. Like even for them that for them the priority will be like their realization that basically not just origin but Chad as well have been trapped in like the world of follow. It will be like since it would be like filled with follow they will be totally afraid for like that. Like so like I'm just thinking Ichigo and Pro like totally taking the help of Urahara telling Urahara that like we need to like and go up to like the world of follows like they need to enter like the world of follows like basically them taking or Hara to like it was taking the help of Hara to like quickly open like the gate or Hara is able to like create like the gate to enter into like the world of follows and or Hara would be able to like create that quickly like that way like it was taking the help to take the help of Hara and like Hara most likely putting on a fake act as if that is like totally creating doing experiments and creating like this like and has finally succeeded in like creating like the shape that open up to like the world of Polos and that way like I was wondering at that point for Hara to totally play the role of like, the savior once again and like a fake manner and basically Hara was like telling you to go and sure that like I too will like join you all and help you like save your friends and basically that along such lines like I'm going to bring like Hara as well along going along with like Ichigo the team of like Ichigo Renji and Ishida to like the world of Apollo, like through or how opening the gate to like the world of Apollo, like the scenario that I'm considering. And I'm considering this time precisely exactly like how last time like I think like Orahara wasn't able to like come to like the South Society like was like the excuse Orahara told like, he went through that for like him not being able to come to like society I think was just because like he has to like keep the portal open like I think like I'm considering like this time like Yoriji only and right now I'm considering most likely like maybe like Yoriji and Orahara things happening right now totally going according to like not only Orahara but also like but like your is a knowledge as well. Like it will be like according to their both secret plans is also like about that and those things. So like I'm going to spend like possibly your not going along with like it's going to like your most likely making the excuse that basically he has to like for like the gates to stay open until like all of them could like make it into like travel into like the world of powers like Orochi would have to like stay in like the world of humans and keep the portal open. So like so that excuse like Orochi basically staying back in like the shop of Orahara while Ichigo and through would be like totally Ichigo and through along with like Orahara heading off to like the world of follows this time. It's like the scenario that I'm basically going to say. And like after Ichigo and through will be making it to like the world of follows and also thing like without much screen delay and the thing like or like without with like a slight delay and the only thing Georgie along with like Chad as well as Orihime who will be presenting like the shop of that Orihime and also bring like them to be like the Ichigo and Pro to be like the team A that will be heading off to like the world of Polos. While the team will be and the thing will be like the team of like Georgie, Orihime and Chad and Rukia as well. Definitely putting confusing about Rukia as well being part of like Georgie's team eventually that will be setting off to like the world of Polos. It's also like the scenario that I'm going to think. And I'm also think like Chada will majority that fully convincing like pushing and convincing him of everything and convincing Chada to talking that like basically somehow like those villains had basically like trapped Ichigo into like the world of Polo. So like he has to save Ichigo and so and that way creating like successfully tricking not only Orihime but also tricking Chad as well into like basically that way you're actually taking Chad as well as Orihime into like the world of Polo. But like before that like I'm also thinking like a Rukia to precisely show up so like the world of like the like the human world. So actually it would be like I'm totally putting like because just like Kyoraku the citizens I think like a Renji has reported for like the when Orihime got trapped in like the world of Polo like this like what Renji believed like at that point itself like Renji might not have been reported to Kyoraku in like the society through like the third page of or something like I'm going to bring it that way like would be how Kyoto might have probably so like I think like that might be how like Kyoto might have probably through Renji might have heard of all that disturbance happening in like the world of victory living. So like I'm going to bring precisely that news that Kyoto have currently would be like getting towards like precisely Rukia, like the scenario that I'm about to bring. And at that point like Rukia would be like only feeling indebted to like and feel the responsibility as in like she has to like pay back for like Orihime like sacrifice of like risking her life trying to like save Rukia by coming to the Soul Society by like Rukia as well like heading off to like the world of living and basically like that Pure already feeling as like she too has like the responsibility to like basically ensure that like Orihime returns back to like the world of living safely. So like I'm just putting Rukia basically heading off to like the world of living and I'm just putting Rukia straight away going up to like our shop and at that point I'm just putting like Rukia only seeing like Yoruchi as well as like Chad as well as Orihime there and like Rukia would be initially shocked. So like at that point I'm just putting Yoruchi to like exactly like how Yoruchi would have like Chad as well as like Orihime about bring Yoruchi to play succeeding in like tricking Rukia as well and also correcting Yoruchi totally like costly trying totally off hyping like top three mysterious fighters saying that they have some sort of a unique powers which was through which like they were able to like even know the number of like even like Urahara's like shop as well as like basically. So in such a manner they somehow like teleported like Chad as well as Orihime into like this precise into the Urahara shop and all that, like basically in such a manner, totally convincing Rukia that like there are some exceptionally strong people. So like definitely and like basically your origin was like telling Rukia that like even more than worrying about them, like we have to worry about like safely bringing Ichigo and through back from like the world of follows to like the world of legends. So like that way like Rukia as well totally falling onto the trap and like along with your origin sad as well as like for him, Rukia as well, totally heading off to like the world of horror. Like each time with like Rukia in the Rukia's mind, like he will only think that like Ichigo saved me, so like I have to save Ichigo. This is my turn to like save Ichigo. So like that way, them all heading off to the. And at that point, it was something you already by itself, like basically opening up like the gates of hollows and basically through those gates, like Jack of him as well as like Yoriji and Rukia heading off at team beast to like the world of hollows like the scenario that I'm talking about.